All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to go on a little journey from what can be the most intimidating place for anyone, that blank page, to a place of total clarity. We're going to talk about how to turn that empty space into a real, actionable plan, all by using structured thinking.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You see that blinking cursor on the screen or that fresh, empty page in a notebook. It's this universal moment of paralysis. Doesn't matter if you're starting a huge project or just trying to write an email. That feeling of where do I even begin can be totally overwhelming. And our first source just captures this feeling perfectly. This is Korean for se memo, which just means new memo. It's the default title on a note-taking app. It's the perfect symbol for that daunting, unstructured, and completely empty starting line. But what if we could look at that emptiness differently? Not as a void, but as the first step toward a really clear goal. What if there was a way to turn that initial chaos into a clear path forward? Well, that's exactly where our second source comes in. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This looks super technical, maybe even a little intimidating itself. And yeah, Kioptrix is some niche tech term, but just ignore that for a second. The real magic here isn't the subject. It's the structure of the goal itself. This title isn't a problem. It's a solution hiding in plain sight. So let's really think about that. What's going on in this sentence? Why is this long, specific title so much more powerful than just new memo? It's because it has a complete roadmap baked right into the words. And here's where it gets really good. When you break it down, you see a truly effective goal has these three parts. It's got an action. What are you doing? Here, it's building. It's got a process. How are you going to do it? Through a structured thinking workflow. And finally, it's got a target. Who is this for? Kioptrix beginners. Instantly, the what, the how, and the who are all laid out. It's crystal clear. So let's build that bridge from our new memo to our clear goal. The key is to really understand the components of that process we just identified, the structured thinking workflow. Let's pull those three words apart. First up is structure. Think of this like the blueprint for a house or the scaffolding for a skyscraper. It's the framework you create before you start filling in any of the details. It's how you organize your thoughts so they don't just become a tangled mess. Next, you have thinking. Now, this is the actual work you do inside that structure. It's the active part, generating ideas, asking tough questions, analyzing info, and connecting all the dots. If structure is the blueprint, thinking is you actually laying the bricks and putting up the walls. And when you put those two together, you get the final piece, the workflow. This is the magic combo. It's a repeatable, reliable process, a series of steps you can follow every single time to get from point A to point B without getting lost along the way. And here is the most important takeaway of all. Forget about the technical example. This isn't just for software or IT. You can build a structured thinking workflow for literally anything. Planning a vacation, writing a novel, starting a business, even just organizing your week. The method is universal. So how do you actually do it? Well, it boils down to this simple four-step process. First, define your goal with that same clarity we saw. Give it an action, a process, and a target. Second, deconstruct it. Break that big goal down into the smallest possible pieces. Third, sequence those pieces into a logical order. And finally, the most crucial step, execute. Don't worry about step 20, just take action on step 1. So let's just step back and look at the transformation. We've come a long, long way from that intimidating blank page, haven't we? We now have a real tool to turn that initial feeling of being totally lost into a powerful sense of direction. This right here really captures the entire journey. On the left, you've got new memo. Unstructured, vague, no direction. On the right, you have the result of our workflow, an actual, actionable plan with clear steps and a defined goal. We've literally replaced anxiety with action. It's a simple truth, but it's also incredibly profound. The secret to overcoming that paralysis isn't some sudden burst of motivation. It's just structure. It's knowing what the very next small step is and then having the clarity to just take it. So let's look at that blank page one last time. It's not an enemy. It's not a void. It's actually an invitation. It's a space filled with pure potential, just waiting for you to give it a structure, to give it a plan, and to give it a direction. So the next time you find yourself staring at that blank slate, don't see an obstacle, see an opportunity. Apply this workflow and ask yourself this one simple question. What masterpiece is just waiting inside your new memo?